She's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for The Quad, Season 2, Episode 2. Now, when I watched the first episode last week, I did not like it all that much because I felt like I couldn't remember shit from the first season because it had been off so long. I almost felt a little bit of that this season. I don't know if The Quad gonna get a season 3. And I'm sad about that because it just feels not as entertaining as I wanted it to be. I guess, like, this episode basically about a bad refrigerator and all the kids being sick kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Because I'm like, that's the best you got? But okay, we're going to see what it is. You know, we see Noni, and she's outside on the grass playing the saxophone. I'm looking like, okay, she's going to keep practicing her little, talent and everything, even though she's kicked off the band. And we then see she not practicing anywhere. No, she is at Cecil's house in his yard playing her saxophone, trying to get his attention. And I'm like, well, basically what you're doing is she's disturbing goddamn peace. Because my thing is, if my neighbor had somebody in their yard playing a saxophone, I would have been real pissed off because I'm looking like, look, I got to be sleeping. I'm not trying to be in all that goddamn noise. Hush up, little girl. So, he come out the house and he see her. He walk right past her. She following him, still playing a little ditty or whatever. He get in his truck and got this music going. He started playing the OJs. They smiling in your face. All the time they want to take your place. Them backstabbers. My voice is going out for some reason. So, playing the whole little backstabber song. And I'm looking like, okay, aw, poor little tink tink. Girl, he think you was a backstabber. Go ahead and leave that man alone. So, from there, we then see at the school, there is a budget meeting going on. We see Pettigrew is there. We see Cecil is there. We see Jasmine Guy's character. Ella is back as well. And then here comes Eva. So, and they also having all this shrimp. They're eating food. And we see how Ella's saying how, I never get sick because I don't touch, utensils. I don't touch door handles. I've been sick in all these years. So, Eva come in because she's late or whatever. And, they're talking about how the school budget is all fucked up. They basically don't have no money. They have to pay Terrence's family, their settlements. But, that can put the schools in financial hardship. They can't go to their reserve money because they'll lose their accreditation. I mean, at the end of the day, the school about to close down. Because my thing is, you can't run a school with no money. And Eve, even with the budget cuts and all this that we did, she's like, look, the bottom line is we need to pay Terrence's family this goddamn money. Because if we don't, I have to keep dealing with them, and I'm so tired of dealing with them. And then, she kind of gets emotional, like, every day the payment isn't made, you know what I'm saying, is another day that I have to deal with these people, and I'm tired of it. And she's like, and dead or not, it haunts me having to deal with this family. And when she said it, she was like on the verge of tears. And Ella like, yeah, it haunts all of us. Because she realized something wrong with Eva. And she's like, so we need to get it done and, get on top of it and just pay these people these money. And I'm like, well, you know what? You probably should pay them the money. But I'm still like, why are they getting a settlement? If your son killed himself because he raped someone, he was accused of raping 3 people. If he killed himself, why the school paying you? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see the circumstances behind that. That's not the school's fault if he was accused of something. I don't know. It's hard to deal with. So, we then see Junior, who was a kid who was flunking out of his class, is talking to Dean Pettigrew. And just saying how, well, I'm can't play football, football, because you basically told, the coach about my bad grades. And he say, no, you're not playing football because you didn't take your grades seriously and you didn't do your classes. He like, so, what I'm saying, you need to handle that. He like, the reason you here is to get an education. So, deal with that, and the best of luck to you. So I'm like, you know what, that's really true. From there, we see how Sydney and Madison are in class talking or whatever, and then Ella come in. So Ella is actually one of the teachers and one of the professors. I'm like, okay, I'm really here for it with them having Jasmine Guy here in any capacity. I love Jasmine Guy on A Different World, and we really haven't seen her do much television since then. She was on If Loving You Was Wrong for like the first season because she played Travis's mom. But other than that, I don't recall seeing her on any other TV show, over these years. So I'm happy to see her because Jasmine is a great actress. So she come like, hey guys, pop quiz. So, it's going to be what it is going to be. Madison get up saying how she's sick and don't feel good. She's like, well, you wasn't sick before you found out you had a pop quiz. And then what does Madison do? She comes to the front of the room and she pukes on Ella's shoes. And I'm like, now that is fucking disgusting. And they like, are you pregnant? And she's like, oh my God, no. And she's puking. So she's puking. They then show like her going to the bathroom. That part I don't care about. And we found out the whole damn school is sick. The whole school is at the damn school infirmary. They don't know what's going on. They've been taking blood tests and all this stuff from all the kids to see why it's so many people getting sick. Well, come to find out, the refrigerating system is all messed up. All the kids have to be quarantined because this bug is contagious and it can get anyone sick. So they have to quarantine the whole goddamn school. They have to shut everything down. And Eve was like, well, goddamn it, man. And, we found out it was because of bad refrigeration. So the shrimp and the food the kids have been eating in the cafeteria was not refrigerated properly. So when they ate it, they got food poisoning. And it's contagious. And if one person had it, and they've been coughing and talking and kissing and hugging and sexing and touching doorknobs, germs passing around. It's a whole goddamn outbreak monkey. So, everyone's sick. And they can't afford to get a new refrigeration system because the new refrigerating system will cost $100,000. So they can't do the new system for the refrigerators and pay the settlement. Okay? That's the whole thing. So this episode was literally about, we need to pay the settlement, but the refrigerator messed up and we ain't got no money. What we gonna do? So, we see how Eva is then like leaving the building that night and she's walking by herself and there's some man walking behind her. And I'm like, well, why is she by herself? You know what I'm saying? And why the man is standing there? So the man walking fast behind her and she finally stops and say, hey, are you going to the parking lot? Because she was walking so fast, she's out of breath. And then the man takes his hood off and I'm like, wait a minute. That's Terrence. Terrence is dead. And I'm like, what the fuck? So she's running from dead Terrence. I'm like, okay, well, clearly she's having goddamn nightmares. So come to find out, she is having nightmares. She's consistently having these nightmares of him chasing her, saying, where's my parents' money? Where's the settlement money? I'm like, you can't let a dead man haunt you about some goddamn money. Nope, can't do it. Not me. But it is what it is. So the next thing we see, and this is something else when I say they bringing people back, like they ain't said her name enough. I didn't even remember that's who she was initially. So the girl who was initially assaulted by the band members is now back in school. And, her and Cedric hanging out or whatever, and then he didn't convince her to come back. And, I'm like, okay. And now she rapping. Okay. She's rapping about what happened to her in one way or the other. She's saying a little stuff about what happened. And I'm like, something feels off about how the story is written. Something feels like it's missing, and I'm not sure what it is. So, but I'm like, okay, yeah, it is what it is. So, all the kids are sick in their dorm rooms. No one has any food. No one has anything to do. They had to shut down the cafeteria. So it's like one kid who hustling, and he got all the snacks. He had all the foods. His room was like a goddamn store. So he sold a goddamn can of like ginger ale for $5. I'm like, this nigga is really out here hustling. So he sold, was it Noni? No, he sold Madison a can of ginger ale for $5. A kid walked in like, well, he said that he sold this last can, I'll buy it from you. He paid her $20 for the damn can, and she paid $5 for. She take his 20 and go back to dude and get some weed. I'm looking like, but if you sick if you smoke weed, ain't you gonna get hungry? Anywho, so we then see Eva, and she just basically goes to talk to Ella, saying how the refrigerating system is broken. It's gonna take $100,000 to fix. I can't get it fixed and pay for the settlement. I don't know what one to do. And she said how I'm having these horrible nightmares. Due to Terrence's family needing his money, and I don't want to know what to do. And she's like, look, you'll figure it out. You always do. She's like, you know what? Yep, I will figure it out. But I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. And they show the kids at the school in the dorm room or whatever, and it's like the goddamn Walking Dead up in that bitch. I mean, I'm like, is it the Walking Dead? It looks like the Carter from New Jack City. I just expected Nino Brown and G Money to come looking for Pookie. They was literally walking around looking like goddamn on crackheads. And I'm like, y'all so sick. Y'all look like crackheads? Like crackhead zombies? Come on now, bruh. And then one kid passed out because he's so goddamn on zombie crackhead sickish. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, Lord Jesus, Eva in the damn building with a goddamn hospital mask on. And my thing is, if the air is so fucking contagious, that mask can't stop nothing. That's a little skinny, little thick, thin little mask. Ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. So we see a little scene with Cecil and Petaway having drinks or whatever. And we find out that Cecil, cancer in remission, and now he's happy. He's happy because he is going to be able to just live a longer life and just kind of be happy. So it was what it was. I was kind of happy too. I didn't want his whole storyline to be how he's sick and shut in and got cancer. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want that to be a storyline basically, because that was a little bit of a storyline last season. So I'm happy to know that his cancer is in remission. That to me was a good thing to add to this particular season. So we then see a little scene it was Madison, it was Tanisha, and then the band girl who back was having a conversation. And Madison was basically asking, like, I was reading your blog, Tanisha, and I'm just wondering, like, would it be so bad if we, like, joined with other schools or whatever? Because, would the merger be that horrible? She was like, wouldn't it bring more kids and more money to the school? And here comes Tanisha and the band girl. No, it'll be horrible, because they did it at Florida A&M, and they come in and they kind of whitewash it. They come in and take credit for your great programs. And, they kind of just take over, and they just basically culturally appropriate everything that we have here, and we don't want that done. And then, Madison then says, she's like, but isn't the point of being here to keep the doors open? She's like, what's the point of fighting against the merger if that means the school will be closed? And I was like, it's kind of true. You know what I'm saying? You have to try to find some kind of equal medium between not being so stubborn that you rather let your school close and close down versus let someone come in to help. It's like, how do you pick a thing? Because you don't want to get it whitewashed. You don't want them to come in and take over and make it seem like they made everything better, even though it was great before. You just needed more money. So, it's like, how do you do that? But then someone came up with a whole goddamn tray table of used food, basically, and was like, hey, we got this food if anyone wants some. And they fucking attacked like crackhead zombies. And they took it is enough for everybody if everybody grabbed one. Them fools grabbed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 10, 13, 4500 packages and pops and stuff. And the one girl who got like 3 of them in her hand, and she was a big girl. Y'all ain't get my Diet Pepsi, bitch. A Diet Pepsi and 4 sandwiches don't go together. You can't. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Well, it is what it is. We then see Sydney on a date. I'm like, okay, she's doing better. It's been a few months since the whole rape situation. It's been a few months since the death of Terrence. It's probably been 4 months since the whole rape situation. And she went over and she came on the couch, watched the movie, and they kissing and hugging and stuff and everything, and the stuff getting hot and heavy. He get up, he go lock the door because he thinks some things about to happen. And she kissing and hugging him and whatever. She climbed on top of him on this little couch. And then when she climbed on top of him, she has a flashback when she was taking his belt off. She had a flashback of Terrence raping her. So she paused, and he kept kissing her, whatever, and he was like taking her shirt off. She's like, no. And he's like, you okay? And she's like, no, I'll do it. So she take her shirt off, kissing a little bit more, and then she's still getting the visuals of him raping her. And then she just stops. And he's like, it's okay. And he realized, okay, she not into this right now. He know what she been through. He like, it's okay. It's okay. Uh, you take me home. And he was like, okay. He's like, do you want to talk about it? She was like, no. And don't give me that sad Sydney look. Just take me home. I'm like, well, you can't get mad at him. He didn't rape you, Mom. And I get that you are going through things and that it still takes time to get over rape. But sometimes when the guy says, it's okay, we don't have to do anything, don't kind of get mad at them. You know what I'm saying? And make them feel like they did something wrong. Because in hindsight, he didn't. Y'all was kissing and hugging things like, you know what I'm saying, it was going on places. So, but I'm also happy that he didn't like be like, oh, you dumb bitch, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy he wasn't the asshole person, like, what you stopped for? He was concerned about her well-being, and she just at that point wanted to go home. So, you know, it was what it was. So I'm happy, you know, he took no, because no means no. We then see Eva and Eugene, and they're going to Terrence's family's home because they basically have to ask for an extension on the loan, on the settlement, because they have to get the refrigerators fixed. So they get there, and Mama like, what y'all doing here? And, you know, I'm like, no, the mom said, you know, I'm just here, you know, I don't do nothing now but more my son. Bitch, he was a rapist. He was out here raping people. And that's the thing about people when they commit crimes and then they die or they kill themselves. You feel like a shitty person when you be like, man, it was a rapist, but they dead. So someone's missing their son, but your son did some dumb shit in real life and couldn't handle it and killed himself. So it's like, do you feel bad for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you put one person's pain over someone else's pain? It's the equivalent of, if you kill my son and your son go to jail for life, do I feel sorry for you? You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. So she's like, no, why are you here? So Eugene and Eva bring up the reason or whatever, like, you know, it's this whole system with the refrigerator stuff and you know, we can't do both. You know, we're trying to see if you guys will allow us to have an extension. And the father then says, well, how about, you know, you guys maybe like name a wing after him or something, you know, for us having to give you guys more time to pay us. He's a rapist. I don't want to eat lunch in rapist Terrence Hall. I don't want to stay in Terrence the Raper dorm room. I don't want to be reading in the damn Terrence the Rapist library wing. I don't want to do that. No, don't want to do it at all. So, you know, Eugene, like, we don't have the power to do that. But maybe if you give us like 6 months, we can talk to the board and then they can make the decision. And the mama like, well, no, whatever. We'll think about it. You can leave now. So as they're leaving, she then says, you know, does that girl, you know, does she feel bad about what she did? And they like, what? And she like, that girl killed my baby. And even like, is she talking about Sydney? And she's like, your son raped my daughter. And then the mama was like, your daughter might as well have pulled the trigger herself. She did that. She killed my boy. She killed my baby. I'm like, bitch, what? And Eva, what happened? Honey, Eva was like, you know, he raped my daughter and killed himself. He should be here in jail begging for forgiveness. He raped my daughter. Eugene had to pull her ass up out the house. The mom was yelling, she killed my baby. And my thing is, at that moment, I could not feel bad for Terrence's mom because he did rape that girl. He raped that girl and killed himself. And now you're upset because your son isn't here. So you like, I want to make everybody else pay because my son was out here raping people and he killed himself. Bitch, but I couldn't do it. I could not feel bad because I'm like, you are totally ignoring the fact of what he did. You know what I'm saying? If she was like, I'm so sorry he raped your daughter, but I miss my son. But you're not even acknowledging what he did and the reason why he killed himself. He killed himself because he was out here raping people. He was exposed as a rapist. People didn't like him because who likes a fucking rapist? And he took his own life. Can't do it. Nope. No, thank you. So outside, Eve like, oh my God. What have I done? What have I done? And Eugene was like, the same thing I would have done. And, you know, as she's still, you know what I'm saying, having an emotional moment, you know, he holds her and consoles her because he like, You did what any other parent would do. You can't. It's one thing that I have to come ask for an extension. It's something else that we have to pay you because your punk ass son did something. It's a completely different beast of a matter for you to sit up and say to me, does my daughter feel bad because your son ain't here and your son raped my daughter? Girl, you look gang punch in the goddamn throat. So, there's a scene where Junior goes to talk to Ella, his teacher, and is basically asking her, can he take the test over? And she's like, you know what? Okay, yep, you can take it over right now. He's like, wait, I ain't ready. And she's like, see, that's your problem. You're not taking stuff serious. She's like, and, you know, if it was me, I would have been absolutely positively ready, you know, if I was coming here to ask for a second chance. She's like, how are you not ready? He's like, well, honestly, I didn't think you was going to give me a second chance. Then what the fuck is you here for, bruh? And she was like, well, that's your problem, too. You need to always stay ready, be ready, and get ready. She was like, you know, you should always expect second chances. Because if you don't, then you'll never be prepared for anything. She's like, you know what? I'll let you take the test again. And he's like, okay, when? And she was like, when I want to, not get out. And that's something else. She told him, like, you need to just be ready. You can't always be prepared because you know the date and time or something. You should always be ready to do whatever you need to do. So from there, we see that it's 5 days later from when everybody first got sick. And now everyone's feeling better. So, you know, that's good. That's okay. I didn't care about them kids being sick no damn way. So, you know, we then see Noni is still outside playing that damn saxophone at Cecil's house. Honey, Cecil come outside walking off and he's like, look, you know, stop it. And she's like, you know, I'm so sorry. She confesses to what she did. Like, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. It was never about you. I never meant to hurt you. I didn't think the other coach would take credit for your song. And, you know, it wasn't to hurt you. I was trying to hurt Danny after what they did to my friend. And, you know, I just did not mean for it to affect you. And then he like, you just a spoiled rich girl who never had to deal with life. You know, that's basically what it is. He then say, you know what? I'll think about letting you back on the band. He like, but you need to get the hell off my line. And so, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And then she leaves and she goes away. Okay, cool. So at the end of the episode, we see Eva, and she's still having a nightmare. And Terrence is still chasing her. And she just keeps in her dream. She's like punching him and hitting him like, just why won't you die? Why won't you die? Why won't you die? And she's punching, hitting him, kicking him in her dream. And as she's waking up, she's in her bed fighting. Because in her dream she's fighting. So we see Sydney come in like, Mom? So she wakes her up and, you know, Eva like, oh my God, you know, how do you do it? You know, how are you okay? How are you okay? How do you do this? And she was like, you know, I'm not okay. See, I said it. She's like, but I'm going to be okay because I have you, I have Dad, you know, and I'm working on it. She's like, you know, it takes time. It takes time, you know. It's going to take us time. And they both were just hugging. And you hear Eva saying, okay, it takes time. It takes time. And it goes off. So it's cool or different to see the effect of how Eva's dealing with it versus how Sydney's dealing with it. They're dealing with it in two different ways, and it's affecting them in two different ways, where it's affecting Eva more mentally to where she can't do things. She's consistently having this fear of, it's like, is it a fear? I don't know. It's like, is it a fear of I can't pay them, so I'm terrified? Or is it a fear of, will my daughter ever be okay? Or where I always think about how I didn't protect her. It's just all these things. And with Sydney, she kind of is like avoiding it. Like, just like, I want to just move past it. I don't want to talk about it. I've talked about all these months. I'm done. But then when she does certain things, like when she was with the guy, the memory came back. So I'm anxious to see the next episode. I just don't want no more bullshit stories tied into it. I didn't, the whole all the kids sick thing. The refrigerator could have been broken without everybody being sick. That's what I think. So, anywho, that's my review of The Quad. I hope you guys enjoyed. Put your comments down below. And until then, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.